here, and that warranted their removal. However, in a gross contradiction, the State Department has left Cuba on the state sponsor of terror list. Is this just lefties in the Biden regime trying to help out their comrades in communist Cuba? For more, let's bring in the commissioner of Miami-Dade, Florida, Kevin Cabrera. We also have journalist and host of Ninoska en la Poderosa, Ninoska Pérez Castellón. Welcome to you both. Commissioner Cabrera, we know that Barack Obama did his best to funnel American cash to the oppressive regime in Cuba so they could keep their boot on the throats of their people. What impact will Biden taking Cuba off this list have?
Well, again, it just shows that whether it be Obama, whether it be Biden, whatever Democrat it is, clearly their policies are of appeasing the Castro regime, and they don't understand that those policies don't work. And beyond that, what we witnessed this week, and I'm so happy we've got Ninoska here, who's a dear friend, was that the Biden administration, Biden's TSA, invited a delegation from Cuba to tour Miami International Airport to show them how we try to combat drugs and terrorism. So a country that remains on the state sponsor of terrorism list, a group of terrorists were invited to our airport to show them how we try to stop the terrorists. You know, it's a little like the hen in the wolf in the hen house. It doesn't make any sense to me. And again, it's just another example of the incompetence of the Biden administration.
Well, incompetence, as you know, collectivists hang together, you know. Ninoska, the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs and Homeland Security Committees, Mark Green and Michael McCall, they slammed this action by the Biden regime. They released a joint statement saying the Biden regime's decision to declare the communist Cuban dictatorship a legally established state sponsor of terrorism, compliant with U.S. counterterrorism efforts, not only rewards a hostile regime, but emboldens our other adversaries as well, end quote. Shouldn't broadcasters, in particular those in Spanish-speaking media, do everything they can to make sure Americans know that a communist dictator's best friend is the Democrat Party?
And we do. And this is not an insult to Cuban Americans. This means the threat to 50 million passengers in that airport and all the other airports that they brought them to visit. We're talking about a regime that is Putin's best ally. We send billions of dollars to Ukraine, and this is 90 miles from our shores. Is not only Russia's best ally, but Iran. Iran, Raisi, who was sanctioned by Trump when he was there for the killing of over 5,000 political prisoners, is Cuba's best ally. And these are the people we're bringing in. This is not only the Biden administration. This is a page from the Obama administration, when he renewed relations with Cuba, returned spies that had been involved in the murder of American citizens in international airspace. And when you're talking about the October 7 massacre, ask the Cuban government why the ambassador in Lebanon had met with the Hamas delegation 5 months before that massacre. That's what's going on 90 miles from our shores.
And this is a country that is part of narco trafficking, that is a state sponsor of terrorism. They allow groups like Hamas to go and train there. They allow folks to go and use their island for narco trafficking, human trafficking, all the sorts of things that we're trying to stop at the airport, at the border. You know, we know that they have failed at the southern border with 10.5 million, if not more, crossing freely in the last 3.5 years. Well, now it appears they also want to fail at our airports, at our air borders, right? They want to allow the terrorists to understand how we stop terrorists. That makes absolutely no sense to me. And again, the fact that you would allow a country that, while they might want to remove them from the list, they are still on the list of state sponsors of terrorism. And they are teaching them how we attempt to stop these things.
Ms. Castellón, can I just ask you one last question? I've only got about 30 seconds left, but look, don't you think it's time that at least conservatives and fair-minded Americans have a come-to-Jesus moment and recognize that the Democrat Party in the United States is careening toward full-blown communism with their efforts to help these communistic regimes all over the world?
Well, every action they take moves them closer to that position that you have just mentioned. Every answer that they make on regimes like Cuba, that is exactly what is happening. And it is, again, not an insult to the Cuban American community. It's a threat to America.
Amen to that. Kevin Cabrera and Ninoska Pérez Castellón, thank you very much, people. I really appreciate you being here. Still ahead, we're just over